The Black Garden by Dark Law. In the heart of night where shadows dance, there blooms a garden, rich and vast, a place where love and truth entwine, entangled roots and vines divine. Beneath the moon's soft silver light lies hidden paths to endless night. Here whispers echo, raw and deep, of love once lost and secrets keep. In every petal, stories bloom of passion's fire and tender doom. The thorns may pierce, the darkness calls, yet in this garden no one falls. For in the shadows truth is found, in whispers soft, yet so profound. The black garden, where hearts are bared, a place where souls are deeply shared. In the deep dark soil of night lies seeds of hope, of wrongs made right. Here in this garden, lovers learn that from the ashes they can burn. With every step the light may fade, yet in this place foundations laid. The black garden where love takes root in soil rich with life's pursuit. Through storms and winds, the petals cling, and in the darkness, hearts will sing. For here in shadows, truth does start, the black garden where we find our heart. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Creative Dominion podcast with your host, Dark Law. Got an exciting special guest for you all on episode 5 of Black Garden series, releasing September of 2024. Very excited to bring you guys this new series. Again, we're going to dive deep into not only dating and relationships, but finding yourself in different aspects within dating and relationships. So go ahead and join us inside Black Garden. And so Dark Law here with Eileen Head out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. How are you, Eileen?
Good. It's the home of the Calgary Stampede, which is going on right now. So it's a big party town.
Awesome. So I've always wanted to go to Canada, so pretty excited to have you on. Welcome to the Creative Dominion.
Thank you.
And so can you tell the audience about yourself and your profession?
I am a Live Your Best Life mentor, manifest your dreams. I teach you how to thrive and create your dreams. And I have a number of modalities that I use, one of which we're going to be talking about in detail tonight, called the Enneagram personalities. And people either go the Ennea what? Or they go, oh, I love the Enneagram, because it's a very advanced personality model that has a path of development for you. You know, we talk about the inner growth, right? And how do you know yourself? How do you know your value, what people value in you? How do you understand your strengths and your challenges, and how to take those challenges and build them into strengths? And then within relationships, it gives you so much information on how to create a deep, connected, loving relationship. And if you're dating, to know your dating currency.
Awesome. And so we're so excited to have Eileen here on the Creative Dominion. Again, the Creative Dominion, we, as I start with every episode, we decree the dominion of our own minds and become the best version of ourselves. And like I said, I know she's talking about the Enneagram and just different things that may not resonate with you, but I hope something that is said here today resonates with you. I encourage all the viewers and listeners to take one thing and apply it to your daily life and, again, become the best version of yourself.
Nice. Very nice.
And so, got a special surprise for you all to this evening. We're actually going to dive into myself, right? The Creative Dominion, practice what you preach. And so we're going to utilize her profession and niche, and we're actually going to dive into my own personality. So stay tuned and get ready for a wild ride inside Black Garden.
Darian's wild ride.
Right.
Yes, it's, throughout our lives, most people are searching for, who am I? And what do people value in me? And, through life and experience, we come across some of that information. The beauty of the Enneagram is that it will give you all of that information. Like I said, after we've now determined your personality, I have a profile that is 25 pages, and it covers everything from the words you use to body language to relationship, how you feel loved, emotionally feel loved, What are your strengths? And when I read my own profile, it was like, wow, how does this profile know so much about me? And it was like, oh, I didn't know that. And oh, I love all of those parts. And like, yikes, those kind of stung a bit. But learning them, that's what we talk about is your path of development. When you have all the information together, you can see yourself and you can see yourself reacting. When you get triggered and you get thrown in the ditch, what is it? Well, you'll know exactly what the trigger was so that you can work on that and say, okay, now I'm going to work on that. I realize that. I now can do something about that. And that's wonderful. I just wanted to give some background on personalities. Your personality is formed by about the age of 7. In your family of origin, you form a belief that you need to be a certain way and play a certain role to get the most love and attention. Then you form patterns that become personalities that you identify with who you are. But it's not all who you are. It's who you believe yourself to be. And the beauty of the Enneagram is we will destructure the personality traits that are sabotaging you and build those into strengths.
Awesome, awesome. And so again, like I said, the main goal of, it's always self-development, right? You want to become the best version of yourself. And, you got to start from scratch and, really learn yourself. And during this episode, we're going to break down, how you can go about learning yourself and how you can also apply that. Keyword is application, not just having the information. Again, she said, there's a 25-page, profile, but it's also whether your profile is 25 pages or more or less. It's about taking that information and using it and applying it on a day-to-day basis to continue to, again, like she said, turn your weaknesses into your strengths and you're enhancing your strengths as well.
Yeah, it's very empowering, when you can see all the parts of yourself. And the beauty of the Enneagram is compassion. It's compassion for yourself and others. And compassion for yourself when you see yourself in a certain pattern of behavior. You can take that pattern and so why am I reacting this way? It's not a question that you're searching for. You'll know what that is. And it will build stronger relationships with others. You will understand other people with compassion, and hopefully no judgment. And there's 9 levels of behavior within each personality type. So you can go up the levels of your personality type and say, oh, this is what it looks like to have a higher consciousness for my personality. So it was kind of fun to do. Darian did the personality test that's free on my website, eileenhead.com. And he came up with his top 3 personality types. And one was the 1 perfecter, the 3 achiever, and the 7 optimister. And we went through those. What was your reaction to that, Darian?
It was actually a great test. Again, I would encourage anybody listening and viewing to go ahead and take that test on her website. Because again, as we go through life, you see little glimpses of how you react and how you think and how how your personality is. And so going through that test and reading through the different paragraphs and the different descriptions, I was like, oh, wow, I actually really resonate with that. And the 2 keywords I want to tell the audience. 1, show yourself grace. And 2, be open and honest and be accountable to your personality. Again, even if you're like, I am that, but I'm not sure I should say it, go ahead and say it, because again, you want to be your most authentic self in order to discover yourself. Because if you're just picking one just to pick one, then you're basing it off a false narrative. And so you want to make sure you're definitely being authentic. And so I definitely loved, taking the test and, found a lot about myself through a short time of taking the test of, wow, I actually, am a perfectionist. And, this is actually how I actually operate on a day-to-day basis. So very appreciative of having the opportunity to take the test.
Yeah, and that's why I changed the name from perfectionist to perfecter. you're in the process of perfecting, but you're not a perfectionist in all things and all parts of your life. It is a way that you have created to be in the world. And now you have an opportunity to start letting go of some of the restrictions, especially of the perfecter, of that personality traits, right? You can look at them and say, well, this really serves me in my job, being a perfecter. It makes me a really great leader. My attention to detail, those are really great things. And in relationships, perfecters bring, they want the perfect relationship. So they are always working to make things right, to create, the rightness in the relationships, to get the love that they desire.
Awesome, awesome. So, yeah, definitely. Again, appreciate, like I said, I hope you guys are listening. She's breaking down, my specific personality. But again, I encourage you to, find your personality and, dive deep into yourself. Because, like I said, you're going to find out a lot about yourself that you could use. And again, like you said, we're also going to go through, you know, some of those restrictions as well, and how we can, for this specific example, myself can work through those and, be able to operate optimally on a day-to-day basis.
The Enneagram is a very powerful tool. And if you use it in business, if you study all the 9 different personality types and start to recognize their traits, their strengths, their quirks, we all have some of those, be compassionate with those. And it's a very powerful tool to, whether it's with a coworker, whether you're a leader, or whether you're out there in the dating world and you're looking for your ideal partner, it's imperative that you understand yourself and what it is that you're yearning for. The Enneagram's been around since 1700s, so it has research data since then on all these personality patterns, even down to illnesses each personality gets, the drugs they might take. There's so much, the leadership style, the coworker style, the partner style. So when you do the work on yourself and you go out there, I'm just going to look at my chart here. We started out with Damien, picked out perfecter, 3 achiever, and 7 optimister. And as we went through them, of course, we have the traits of all 9 inside of us, but we can only have one major focus of intention, an ego in the world. So that's what determines your home personality type. So we went through the different ones. And as we went through, it was the perspective of looking at those types and figuring out which one is dominant, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was interesting for you. It's the interpretation of it. So Damien, who is single, and a father, it's really important for him to find a relationship that's stable, for his children, that is a rewarding relationship, and not only looking for someone, but someone who understands him at a deep level. And what a powerful thing you can give someone is saying, this is who I am. This is all of me. These are some of my challenges. And when you get into a deep, connected, loving relationship, you want a partner who's going to work with you on these things. And in couples, I help couples connect at a deeper relationship. And so I will set up signs for them. When they get into one of their patterns, the partner might go, hey, as a one perfecter, you might be, you're not shutting the cupboard doors. Like, why aren't you shutting the cupboard doors? That's really important to you. And if your partner is an optimister, it's like, what's the big deal? Let's just have fun. Cupboard doors open, no big deal. So it's these sort of things in relationships that you start to understand the importance of. Your partner can just say, hey, you're kind of in your pattern, and you can pull yourself back and say, you're right. I'm focusing too much on the perfection part of this. You take a deep breath, you let it go, you reframe it, you can talk to your partner that you're dating or explain why that's just really important to you, why this triggers. But it's going to be about helping you to release the structure, the rigidness in your personality. And your path of development is to go over to that optimist or fun, 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 whoop, 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 let everything go. And you start focusing on that. You start letting things go, not the important things, but the things you come to realize are not a big deal, really. I'm going to choose to start working on letting this go and letting that go. And so for Dorian, Darian,
Yeah.
Darian, sorry. So for Darian, one of the personalities that is a good partner for him is the two supporter. Someone who's very relationship oriented, someone who's very nurturing and caring and giving. Another one, because you chose the achiever, tickle in the throat. Give me a minute here. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
You get you get a tickle in your throat. Doesn't want to go away. So we can give you the different personality types that you're more compatible with. And when you're out there, you can start looking for those personality types that are more compatible with you. Make sense?
Yes.
So tell me some of the realizations that you come to with your personality. Some of the challenges you've had.
Some of mine really is with that perfecter role is especially, in the workplace, when mistakes are made or when, not necessarily OCD, but also like, hey, why is this out of place? Or why was this not done? And it's the challenge is, having grace with others with that. So it's something, I've had to develop as a leader and, learn to, show others grace. Like, hey, not everybody's a perfecter. Hey, why is the cart in the middle of the aisle? Why is it not in its, square? Why is it not in its cubby? It's, having that grace of, hey, this is why, it needs to be this place, but also, again, like she said, going to the optimism of, hey, if it was at its place for, 5 seconds, it's not a big deal. Right?
Yeah. And as you learn to go over to the optimist or more, you can use humor. You can go, all right, who do I need to talk to about leaving this out here? Or was someone playing with these carts? Bring more humor and use it in a different way instead of why was it left out as to, hey, who forgot this? Let's see if we can do better, right? You start changing your languaging. You start changing how you come across. You become more relatable, more approachable. Those are all tools that you can use in your life and in your relationships too.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say this, I hope the viewers and listeners understand the importance of, in this specific case, the perfecter of letting go of those things. Because like I said, it can make or break relationships, friendships, companionships. If you're always, for me specifically, if I'm always operating in just, hey, perfecter, and like, no, just leave me alone, shut up, you got to do it like this, you're not going to have, I'm not going to have very many friends or very many, colleagues if I'm always, operating in that, headstrong, hey, you got to have it this way.
And what people come to learn, so why are perfectors like this? Why are they perfectionists? Well, they possibly grew up with criticism as a child and came to believe that they needed to be perfect to get loved. And so for perfectors, there's a critic that's running 24/7 in their mind that is watching everything they do, that is judging everything they do. And the fear of making a mistake is what becomes dominant. And so when you can quiet the critic in your mind and say, yeah, that's okay. Here's a great one for perfectors. There are no mistakes. There are mistakes. And you can keep doing retakes until you get it where you want it. Can you feel the difference in that? It takes the pressure off.
Right, definitely. Again, there's power in what you just said. Again, there's not, mistakes. It's mistakes, and you can always retake to get to where you want. Now, again, that's and for those of you that follow the Creative Dominion, my childhood trauma was what first series where I go through, growing up, having to be a perfectionist. Every mistake I made, my dad was always, like, why would, how could you do, what are you doing? Are you dumb? Or, you know how that is. So, just having that perfectionist, psyche just ingrained since childhood, making sure, to have grace for yourself. That's what she's saying. You want to have grace for not just others, but also yourself, and know that, everybody's not perfect,
And sadly, our parents do the best they can. And your dad maybe thought, I'm going to be really, really hard on him because it's a tough old world out there. And if he's going to succeed, he's going to have to do everything perfect. That was coming from your dad's stuff. However, it created the traits of your personality. The cool thing is you can now make a decision to change those patterns, to release some of those. And what we absolutely love about perfectors is how much they put into relationships, how much they really want to make it work, how much they really are caring and loving.
Right, definitely. And it's definitely, like I said, good to again apply, those changes as well, and continue to grow and develop. I just want all the viewers and listeners to know, again, it's not a final destination, right? It's the infinite game of life. There's no, I took the test, I figured it out, I'm perfect, right? There's no, set destination. It's a ever flowing journey,
But I will
throughout
tell
life.
you, it makes life very fascinating for yourself, like watching yourself react and now having the power to understand, even if you're not reacting well, you can go, okay, hold on. Why is it that I'm freaking out? Or why is it that I'm reacting this way? Or I'm being reactive? You can sort of understand and then say, you know what? I've got the life lesson in that, in the present moment, and I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on that pattern now, and I'm going to let it go. And it may take you 100 times to work on it, but at least you feel empowered and you feel better about yourself when you're working on your patterns. And imagine starting a relationship and saying to the person, here's everything about me. I can tell you my partner style, what I need from a partner. If we figure out your personality type, we will put our two personalities together. I do personality readings of the two. And we can figure out our similarities, our differences, our strengths together. And you can build a solid relationship.
Yes, yes. And I think, again, I think that's imperative and key because, like I said, even if you know yourself, if you don't know the other person, then you're still only halfway operating. So you want to make sure to bring your significant others with you and determine, her personality or his and vice versa to ensure that you're, doing the best for the relationship to grow.
And learning the 9 personalities makes life fascinating. I mean, you can be in a room full of people and you may not know their personalities, but you can start picking up the patterns, right? There's the achiever. They're really focused on achieving and they're charming and they're interactive and they're, and there's the 2 supporters. They're the helpers. They're helping everybody. They're nurturing and caring. And then there's the 4 expressors who are the emotional people that are, they're deeply emotional. The 5s are the intellects and the introverts, and the 6s are, their basis is fear, worry, anxiety, and yet they're one of the bravest personalities there is. The 7 optimists are fun, loving. The 8 challengers are the leaders. They challenge people. They're usually in charge of businesses, etc. And then there's the 9 peace seekers. They are all about the peace. So you start learning these, whichever ones you are, or you understand the 9 types. I will guarantee you, you can change your career path by learning personalities, by being able to interact at work much more effectively, understanding others. You can create and find a partner that is more compatible with you just by figuring out which personality types are more compatible. You can be compatible with any personality type. It really does depend on the level of growth each person has had. But there are statistics, and you do mesh more with certain personality types for sure.
Yeah, awesome. And I will say also it does not just in dating, but also helps. I want the viewers, imagine if you were, for me, I'm in a management leadership role. But even if you aren't, let's say you're in college, right? Or, you do networking events, maybe you're an artist, maybe you're a painter, maybe you do music, in every aspect of your life, regardless of your profession, you're going to be around people. And the more you know the personality types, like she's saying, the more you can understand people. And again, like she's saying, imagine walking into a room and like not knowing everybody's personality, but you don't even know these people. You can kind of pick up on their patterns and cues, and just imagine how fun or how more enjoyable the party might be, or how more enjoyable the networking event, or the the concert, or wherever you're at, the sporting event. Wow, I met so many cool people tonight because you understood personalities and how to interact with.
Well, and opening your perspective, right? I see the world, I'm a 2 supporter. So I see the world through helping and nurturing, and I want everybody to connect really closely and be really loving. Well, there's some personality types like the introverts, like, back up, that's too much energy for me. No, I don't think so. Or, the expressors that want to form a deeply emotional relationship. Well, some personality types, that doesn't feel good for me, or I can understand where you're coming from. The 4 expressor, why are they so emotional over maybe seeing a sunset? We can start to appreciate things like that, and we can start to bring that into our life, which expands our whole life and our life experience as well.
Yes, definitely. And even in the dating realm as well, helping, find the ideal, significant other, because the last thing you want to do is, be with the wrong person or be in the wrong relationship and not have, and they always say a good quote is, ignorance is bliss. So you don't want to be ignorant of the personalities and not know who you're with, or especially not know yourself.
Yes, I had a client. He made this brilliant statement. I was just so, I just thought it was brilliant. He said, I would much rather know what it is that I'm doing that isn't working than to keep doing it. And I thought that was so brilliant, that he wants to know what it is so I can work on it and change the outcome of your life. You really can do this with more understanding. And the Enneagram has been around since the 1700s, and there's books on leadership, there's books on partnership, there's books on love relationships. But when you're going out and you're starting to date, what everyone is looking for is your confidence in yourself. And when you can come out and say, you know what, sometimes I get really twisted out of shape about the minor details, and I'm working on that. Now, is that empowering to a partner to hear someone say, oh, I'm recognizing something in myself and I'm working on that? Or, I've come to realize this. You can start some amazing conversations when you start dating by statements like, I've noticed this trait in myself, and I'm working on this one. Do you know a trait that you're working on for yourself? Or it changes the whole dynamic, let me tell you.
Yeah, definitely. And then just imagine, how, liberating that is, how much pressure is off, or,
Yeah.
we always talk about dating, breaking the ice, right? Well, what way to break the ice or break that? Like, every relationship has stages, and, you might be in that stage of, hey, I just got to know this person, and how can we create a deeper connection? That's one of many ways to invite that deeper connection in.
Thank you. You could say, hey, you know what? I learned this cool thing. I learned my Enneagram personality, and learning so much about myself, and I've come to realize this and this and this. Have you ever considered looking at a personality model? Well, the important thing about relationships is to heal the past, to let go of the past, to let go of the stories of the past, the traumas and wounds. Get those healed up, work on those. And so I teach the law of attraction and manifesting. We are magnets. So wherever we are, Eckhart Tolle talks about having a, what does he say about yourself around your aura? I forget the word, but everything in that is what's happened to our life around us. And we're a magnet for attracting that back to us. So if we still have a lot of trauma, wounds, being a victim, holding on to our old stories, that's what we're going to bring to us. So look at the patterns of your past relationships. How are they similar? And what is it you're bringing to yourself? And then turn and go, so what is it in me that is still here that I'm attracting these kinds of personalities? Because now what I want is this kind of personality. I'm going to work on myself to clear that and bring that into me, because that's the law of attraction. You raise your vibrational level and bring in experiences and relationships that you've been desiring.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people, at least for me, like for those of that have listened to the childhood trauma, I had to heal from all that, right? And again, it didn't take, it took over 10 years, right? It didn't take, wasn't the day after. Again, and for those of you who don't know, again, I am a domestic violence survivor since age 14. And, it wasn't until like my mid 20s where I like actually healed somewhat fully. And so, again, if you're in that, maybe you're listening and you're still, younger, and you still have that trauma, or maybe you just got out of a bad relationship or getting out of a bad relationship, just give yourself grace and know that, again, it's going to take time. But the key word that she's saying is you're working on it. You're intentional about working on it.
Intentional, I love
and wanting to improve. And as long as you wake up every morning with the intent to improve, and you're even the Bible says faith without works is dead faith, right? So you want to not just have the want to manifest and want to attract, but you have to work at it, and then it will be so.
I'll tell you, learning the Enneagram will fast forward those processes for you. They will, in a compassionate way, in a kind way, and for yourself and for others. It is, I'm really passionate about it. I was in a 35-year marriage, and we were great people together. We had the same morals, same values, same goals, and yet we just could not connect emotionally. And as my personality type who needs that emotional connection, that was very painful for me. So after 35 years, I left that marriage. And that's when I found the Enneagram. And that's when I could understand my husband and why he acted the way he did, and not need him to change, but help me to understand both of our roles. I didn't have a lot of personal growth at that time either. And so it was through that I learned about him and learned about myself, and have gone on to lead a life where I thrive. And I teach other people to thrive. I manifested 3 years on a beach in Mexico for winters. And before I ever believed it was possible to do that. And I brought in many things that I've manifested. So your life can be very different from where it is. It takes conscious thoughts to release old patterns. Intention, you said intention, and it doesn't need to be heavy work. It can be quite fascinating work when you start working on the reason behind all of this, the reason your dad was so hard on you, the abuse. I'm also an energetic healer, and I help people release the energy of the abuse that is still around them and with them, so it can free them up to be that magnet that's going to attract in someone who is of a higher vibration, and you can create that life together.
Amen, amen. And again, she said something there. She said when she was talking about her ex-husband, not needing him to change, but learning how he acts. And, in dating, relationships, marriage, co-workers, schoolmates, etc., too many times we, try to change someone instead of looking at why would, I always say start with why. Why do you think they need change? That's what I would ask. I encourage every viewer and listener, ask, if you're in that situation, like, yeah, he or she gets on my nerves, I can't understand why they do this. They need to change their ways. First look at yourself and what are you doing? Have you changed your ways? And then ask yourself, why do they need to change? And then one other question I want you to ask yourself is, why should they change and not me first? Because again, it's your life to live. You or them don't owe each other anything, but you owe it to yourself to live a life full of abundance.
Yeah, it's all about us. It really has. People are actors on our stage. They come on our stage to teach us something about ourselves. So if we're reacting, what is it we're reacting to, and why is that? And what is the life lesson in that? It's fascinating when we can shift out of that. They need to change into, what is it I need to shift in myself to react differently, to accept this person, to maybe understand some of their wounds or where they are in life or any of that sort of thing. Make it about yourself. You shift yourself, everything shifts around you.
Amen, amen. And you also, again, what she's speaking on is everything ends and begins with you. When you look in the mirror, you can be your greatest uplifter, you can be your greatest downfall. There's nothing anybody else can do to you worse than what you do to yourself and to your mindset and your psyche each and every day. And so, I want everybody to, take that with a grain of salt. I encourage you to, take the personality test to apply what you find from the personality test. I will say, I always tell everyone, seek higher counsel. Again, even if you take the test, you have people like Elaine, you have people, mentors, people that, coaches, therapists, etc. You utilize your resources. Again, it's not a journey alone. You have people in your corner that are there to help.
It's investing in yourself. Sadly, what I see is people investing in tattoos and, shoes and nails and cars and then being really frustrated in their life and living a lower life experience than they really could be experiencing with taking a short period of time to invest in figuring yourself out and resolving relationships and creating a life that is where you can thrive, where you really can thrive.
And then the main thing she's saying it also is with those investments, like she said, getting your nails done, you don't do your nails yourself, right? You go to the nail salon, tattoo artist, you don't tattoo yourself and get a needle out with the motor and start drawing on yourself, right? You go, hey, I got to find a tattoo artist. And just think about the time spent, looking for a tattoo artist, looking for a nail salon artist. Take that same investment you do in the materialistic things, and again, invest it into yourself, invest it into your soul, invest it into your mindset. And, you can, decree the dominion of your own mind and become the best version of yourself. And
Definitely. It's about choices. You can choose to or choose not to. If you choose not to invest in yourself, you will continue to get the life that you currently have. If you choose to invest in learning about yourself, a higher consciousness, doing your inner work, releasing the traumas of your past childhood, etc., your whole energy, I can tell that you've done a lot of work. You have a very loving, caring, inviting aura about you that invites people in, that shows people that you're more accepting, that you're working on your stuff, that you're eager to learn. That is a totally different energy than someone who always wants to tell you their story of what happened. We need to get rid of that. And so it's your life journey, and you get to choose how you live your life.
And like you said, you choose. Again, she said you choose, so why not choose yourself? And so I encourage everybody to choose yourself. And so as we close, what are some tips that maybe somebody's listening and they're like, that sounds, kind of difficult, or maybe I'm too, not courageous enough to, dig deep into myself, or what if I'm scared of what I may find? What are some encouragement that you would give those?
What a great thing, because that is what stops people from doing personal growth. What if they see this in me? The truth is, they do see that in you. We see that in everyone, the way they're acting and reacting. And I encourage you to, this is a positive, I make this a very positive experience, and I really show you your dating currency, your career currency, what a partner loves in you, what someone else is searching for that you have for them. I help you to see all that, and if it's not with me, there's lots of help out there. The Enneagram is there's hundreds of thousands, millions of sites with information on the Enneagram, and but I help you find your home personality type. And then if you're looking for energetic healing, if you're looking for healing of any sort, I'm very passionate about helping people to thrive and manifest their best life.
Awesome. And so again, choose yourself, become the best version of yourself. Take a leap of faith on yourself. Why the question I want you to ask as we close out here, why not you? Why can't you live your best life? Why not manifest, your dreams and goals? A lot of times we look at social media and we see the fast cars, the big houses, the Bora Bora, the, Greece, different vacations. And we're like, wow, we get that spirit of envy or strife of, wow, they have a great life, or, lucky them, right? And so what we discussed in this episode is how to take the first step on reversing that mindset and, manifesting your best life and become the best version of yourself. And so, Elaine, can you tell the viewers and listeners where they can find your coaching and profession again?
My website is eileenhead.com. I offer a free 30-minute Live Your Best Life call assessment. What's happening? What's going on? How can I serve you? And there's also the free Enneagram test on my website as well, where I follow up with you and we make sure that you picked your home type. And I'm here to help people really grow and thrive, and go by my website. There's lots of free stuff on there, lots of information, and I would be happy to do a call with you.
Awesome. And so again, encourage all the viewers and listeners to, go to their website. Again, again, what we said is ignorance is bliss, right? Why not at least know? So I encourage everyone listening, as soon as you're finished listening to this episode, go ahead and go to our website at elainehead.com and take the free assessment. Again, it takes less than 10-15 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
takes me 10 to 15 minutes to eat, right? If I'm really hungry. So, take the time to at least learn about yourself and continue to and follow up on it and continue to educate yourself about you. We spend a lot of time, watching blogs and TV, and we educate ourselves on everything else but ourselves. And so, again, it's been a pleasure having you on, Elaine, on Blackguard. It's been a pleasure having all the viewers and listeners tune in and join us inside Blackguard in episode 5. Again, releasing in September 2024. Again, hope everybody just take one or two things that you heard in today's episode and apply it to your daily life. Become the best version of yourself to create a dominion of your own mind. Again, go ahead and check out her website. It's free, y'all. It costs nothing to learn, right? To learn about yourself. And what I want to say real quick is learning that little bit you take to learn about that 10 to 15 minutes you take to learn about yourself, could change the trajectory of your life. And so the last question I'll leave you with this, viewers and listeners, why not you? Why not you? And so it's been a pleasure having you, Elaine, on the show. Again, this will be released in September 2024. And until next time on the Create Dominion, thank you.